anywhere. I don't want the heat to spread anywhere but right where it's concentrated. So I constantly quench around it to try to keep the temperature down so I don't warp or distort it. This is essentially shrinking and contracting metal. When I welded, I needed extra clamps, and I didn't. I was on some lazy shit at the time, and I didn't clamp this side. I clamped everything but that end. I thought I could control that end, and it kind of pulled in on itself. So it's not exactly at a 90. It's more like 80 or 60 degrees, that is. So rather than run the risk of breaking out all my welds and redoing this whole thing over again for the next 2-3 days, I'm going to just heat this section up and hammer it to exactly the right bend. And that's going to be tough because it's going to be a little give and take with fire and water. Heating it, cooling it, checking it, heating it some more, cooling it, checking it until it's right. After that, just going to do a little bit of sanding and washing and scrubbing the carbon scale off the outside, also known as iron scale or fire scale. And then once that's done, it's going to get a coat of some black Rust-Oleum. Right over here is the frame that the sign goes in. This is actually fitted. As you can see, so this is for the sign. This is, done. And inside of here, I actually have nuts and threads welded inside of this channel so that all the sign parts screw in and everything is intact. So a wooden sign that's been carved goes inside of this, and then there's an end rail that goes on the end to close and complete the frame. And then there are 4 bolts that go through it with some nice little acorn nuts on the other end so it looks nice and studded or whatever. And that's pretty much the job.
So once you get the frame done, the sign will officially be half done because you still have to hang it.
Yeah, I mean the sign will be it'll be like, as far as manufacturing, all that'll be done. The only thing after that to do is go rent a, what would that be, like a scissor lift or a cherry picker. Any of those two that can, anything that'll lift us up to the right height so that I can actually take that frame, that bracket that I'm heating up now, that'll be mounted on the wall, on a brick wall outside. Notice here, we have these really large holes, these 3/4 inch diameter holes. It might even be inch, I forget. It's between inch and 3/4. But we're using really large, really fat bolts so that it's very, very structurally sound. It won't, come off the wall, or, we have a nasty storm night or something and I had to worry about somebody's, $60,000 Lexus being damaged because they parked it out front or anything like that, That's also why we went with some really heavy gauge steel. This is almost a 1/4 inch thick C-channel. Everybody thinks it's overkill. I think it's just right. I would have gone with even heavier if I had my way. But for now, I'm gonna turn the gas up because I only turn this down periodically because I had to step away for a minute. But I'm turning the gas back up because I don't want to have a drop in temperature. I actually want to be consistent. Most metal work is about consistency and, keeping an eye on what you're doing and all that. So, yeah. After this, I'm going to spin it around, and the hot spot where the heat is most concentrated, which is right there, it's going to be positioned right in this place here. So I'm just going to hammer the one end so that it slightly arcs over the edge. And that's going to kind of true this up to correct the overall 90 degree angle that I'm going for, that I'm shooting for. In case you're wondering, up here in the front, these little rocks, right here, that is actually this stuff, and this is coal. Normally I use this inside that drum to heat up my metals that I can actually submerge in the coal, in the fire, and it maintains a perfect heating environment and better temperatures. Nice hot 2 to 3,000, 3,200. I can get it up to 4,000 degrees with this quality of coal. This is the nut coal, they call it. It's large, like chunks, like big acorns, and it burns nicely and evenly and slowly. So yeah, as the coal disintegrates down, it gives me a hint of where the heat is most concentrated. There is one chunk of coal which is as big as the one on the outside on the very end, and it's actually right under the torch. And so I'm looking through the torch from the top at this angle, and I can see the rate at which it's disintegrating. And it also enables me to see the color that the steel is turning. And color, when you're heating steel, is everything. It goes, red and orange, red, orange, and then yellow and white, and all those shades in between. And they all indicate the temperature necessary to do this stuff. So if you know your colors you're looking for, then you overall your temperature. So yeah, this is about it for now. And then next time we'll